What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. I know I do talk a lot about politics, but I realize that majority of our problems in Nigeria are actually not caused by politicians, but the mindset of the common people. I found out that Nigerian hospitals are not only ill-equipped, but so many of our medical practitioners, our doctors and nurses, many of them have no regard for human lives. Again, some, not all. I have come across Nigerian doctors and nurses that genuinely care for their patients. I have many of them as friends, but I've also come across those that would not treat a dying patient unless money is settled. Many people argue that this is as a result of people who were treated and ran away without paying. I understand that, but that's not an excuse in a situation where the patient is obviously dying. Now, this story I'm about to tell you is a typical example of something that happens every day in Nigeria. We only hear about a few, but this happens every day. By now, you've probably heard about the students of Yaba Tech protesting the death of a fellow student. That is Dazan Charity Oluwabukola, a 27-year-old final year student studying office technology management at Yaba Tech in Lagos. So there has been several reports that she had sickle cell, but several students have disputed this. They denied it. So this account I'm about to give you is the account of her friends who were with her till her last moment. It was on Tuesday when Dazan finished her French shorthand practical examination around 2 in the afternoon, and then she fell sick. But getting to the school clinic, all they gave her, after waiting for hours, all they gave her was paracetamol. That's like ibuprofen, pain reliever, in case you're not familiar with paracetamol. According to her friends who took her back to her hostel, the clinic didn't allow her to go beyond the lobby. Now, when the girl got back to the hostel, she was complaining to her friends that not only was she really, really tired, but that she was having pains in both hands. Clearly, something was going on with the girl, right? Now, she got back to her room around 7, but by 8 o'clock, when she kept complaining, her friends took her back to the school clinic, and again, they just checked her and gave her some drugs and then sent her back to her hostel. Her friends were trying to convince the clinic to admit her into the sick ward. Apparently, they have a sick ward where they could admit people, but for the second time, this girl was restricted to the lobby, which tells me that they didn't really do any major tests if she was attended to at the lobby. Now, it's already around 10 p.m. when the clinic told her to go back to her hostel, and her friend said that by this time she could neither stand nor walk, yet the clinic did not admit her. Instead, they drove her to her room in their ambulance, which is this bus. They drove her back to her room and left her there. By 11 p.m. though, the girl started complaining again, this time bitterly, that she was not okay. So for the third time, her friends, by the way, God bless those friends, her friends took her back to the clinic, and that was when the clinic decided to refer her to the Federal Medical Center in Ebute Metta. So they drove her in their bus, this ambulance, with a letter from the chief doctor at the school clinic. But getting to the Federal Hospital, my people, the doctors there said they would not attend to Dazan until her friends pay a 35,000 naira admission fee, coupled with other registration fees, everything amounting to 43,000 naira. That's about $215. So these students begged the hospital to please start treating this girl while they run around looking for the money. But do you know that the doctors refused? And not only did they refuse, but they told the students, you can't leave her here. Take her along with you on your fundraising hustle. When I read that, I broke down. I wanted to cry. I was like, how could you? So the students had to carry her along with them as they drove back to their school to raise money. The chief doctor at their school gave them 10,000 naira. The Zan's Christian Fellowship, CNS Fellowship, raised 25,000 naira among themselves, and her roommates raised 3,000 naira, making 38,000 naira. So they went back to this federal hospital, accompanied by a nurse from their school clinic, and you would think that by now they would start treating this girl immediately at the federal hospital, but no. They insisted that the students must follow due procedure of paying the fees. Keep in mind, this is the middle of the night, and the doctors insisted that they should go to the cashier's office to make all the payments, to get her registered, get her a card, put in all her information and all that. That's another 600 naira, by the way, to get her a card. So they said they had to come back with the receipt, that they had to see the receipt before they would start treating her. Now, by that time, Dazan was saying, but faintly, she kept saying, I'm dying. Please help me. I'm dying, please help me. I think that this is the most difficult part of that story for me. The fact that she kept saying that. And the doctor that was supposed to treat her said that she should shut up. So the students divided themselves into two groups. A group of them went to pay the admission fee of 35,000 naira, and then the second group went to pay for the drip and blood. Those doctors knew that she needed blood. That's why they were charging for blood before even treating her. But they didn't give it to her. They didn't give her blood. They wanted her friends to pay first. But when the students came back from making all the payments around 2 in the morning, the doctor said, well, they ran some tests on her. They said there was no single drop of blood left in her body and that they couldn't locate her veins. So there was no way for them to pass any water or blood into her bloodstream. After giving this report, they declared that Dazan had passed away. By the way, the hospital said that they would not refund the money that the student raised, except the 600 naira that they paid for hospital card. They also refused to issue her a death certificate. I mean, she was nobody, right? She wasn't the daughter of a governor or senator or a big businessman. They refused to issue her a death certificate because she didn't spend up to 24 hours at their facility. So the students drove her dead body back to campus. I don't even need to talk about the fact that the hospital on campus left her body in their ambulance overnight. By morning time, flies had surrounded the bus because she defecated at the last minute and they left her in her mess. They didn't clean her up. By the way, Dazan was an only child of her parents. The father is not feeling well. The mom is also sick. So needless to say, the students protested, especially because they each pay 3,000 naira for medical fees every year. I just had to talk about this story because it tells a lot about us as a people, the attitude of those in any position of authority in Nigeria. And I'm not talking about politicians right now, but I do realize that once Nigerians are in some kind of position to help others, even little things, we like to act as if we are gods. It's about time that we change our mindset. This is not how it's done in so many other parts of the world. Teachers treat their students in Nigeria as if you're doing them a favor. They paid to enroll at these schools, not be so, yet you fail them like no man's business just because you can, just because they didn't buy your handout. I remember a professor of mine called me one day. She just wanted to see how I was doing. This was years after college, and a friend of mine that just came from Nigeria was there, and he was shocked that my professor called me. He was like, "That was your professor? Your professor called you?" It's not a big deal here in America. We grade our professors' performances in America. You go to some ministries in Nigeria, the secretary will keep you waiting for hours before telling the Oga you came to see that you are around. And even after Oga says you can come in, the secretary will just sit there for minutes before letting you know. Some bankers in Nigeria will see people lined up and they will be chatting as if you are invisible. And then the way they will talk to you when they're attending to you makes you wonder why you are banking with them in the first place. At the airport, custom officers have delayed me simply because I refused to give them a gunje bribe. Why are we like that in Nigeria? Even in churches, instead of taking care of the poor among us, we're busy building new buildings, new auditoriums. Most universities built by Nigerian churches are not affordable for the common people, and many of them are church members. To be honest, Nigeria can never really maximize its potentials until we, the people, change our attitude and our mindset to accept that whatever responsibility we've been given, it's a privilege to see what we can do to change lives. Having said that, there are people who have regards for human lives. There are people who don't look down on others just because of their financial status or dressing. There are really nice Nigerians, but you know those that I'm talking about. If we want Nigeria to change, let the change begin with us. So as for Dazan, may her soul rest in peace, but I really hope this will be an end to such instances. Who knows how many more students have died this way. I saw the mission statement of the clinic and I was just shaking my head that, wow, there are so many Nigerian schools like that the school clinic is useless, completely useless. Yet they charge these students ridiculous amount of money every year. But you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Still on clinic, something has been bothering me for some time, and that is the fact that Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari recently on vacation in London went for medical treatment. First of all, if Mr. President is not feeling well, it is our right to know exactly what is wrong with a man that we elected to oversee the affairs of our nation, considering the fact that Nigerians are the ones paying for his medical bills abroad. I don't know why Nigerian officials like to hide their medical status from the people. Once you take up the mantle of of leadership. You are now a public figure, and we have the right to know if you can in fact do the job you were elected to do. But that's besides the point. What I've been trying to dissect and digest, scrutinize and analyze is the whole concept of why Nigerian presidents or Nigerian officials will be going abroad for medical treatment, especially because every year each president budgets millions of naira to upgrade the so-called State House Medical Center. During Jonathan's government in 2010, he budgeted 60 million for the completion and extension. And then in 2011, Jonathan allocated 106 million. Later, he added upgrades and repairs, costing additional 506 million naira. And then in 2012, Jonathan allocated 300 million to upgrade the VIP wing of this clinic, as if the whole thing is not already for VIP. This is in Aso Roku. They are having a VIP wing inside a VIP hospital. Anyway, so the same 2012, they added another 401 million naira for upgrades. And then in 2013, they said they are spending 300 million naira on this same hospital. Are you taking note of all these numbers? This is one hospital, okay? And then in 2014, Premium Times did a story about how they wanted to spend 705 million naira on the same hospital. It's a clinic, actually. It's not supposed to be big. They said it's just for the president and government officials. So they wanted to spend another 705 million on the same hospital. Now, if you add all of that together, Jonathan already spent more than 2 billion naira on the State House Clinic. More than 2 billion. And if you watch my last episode, I told you that Buhari budgeted 3.8 billion for the building of a new VIP wing. This is another VIP wing. How many VIP? It is no longer VIP if you have more than one VIP, is it? So Buhari budgeted 3.8 billion for a new VIP wing at this same State House Clinic. In addition to another 3.2 billion for health equipment and supplies for this same clinic. And then on this same 2016 budget, there's another 203 million naira for drugs and medical supplies for this same clinic. If you add Buhari's own, that is more than 7 billion naira that he wants to spend on the same clinic. So I've been really perplexed as to why this clinic is not yet the best in Africa, or at least be of international standard with all the money that we are spending on it. When Goodluck Jonathan's wife was sick, that woman went to Germany several times for treatment. Despite going abroad though, she still said that she almost died, according to her testimony. Now our former petroleum minister is in London for cancer treatment, only for me to hear that Buhari also went to doctors in London. It's not as if there's anything wrong in, if you're somewhere, you go to the doctor's place. But does this make sense to you? All I'm saying is, where is the money going to? If really we've been spending all these billions on the State House Clinic, why is it that our officials still have to go abroad for treatment, spending our money? Because, if you're not a resident or a citizen of a foreign country, they charge you thousands of dollars for some tests here in this America if you don't have your papers, your pali. I'm talking about green card. So why can't Nigerians also have at least one standard hospital that people in the neighboring countries can be coming for medical treatment? If we have this hospital, not only would we be treating our own big people, but people will be flying in from different parts of Africa and we will be making money. And it's not as if we cannot afford it. Look at this hospital in Texas. It was recently built. That is the University of Texas Southwestern Hospital. It has 532 beds and it was built with $800 million. $800 million. I mean, if our petroleum sector can do away with $20 billion, that means that money could have built 20 of this hospital that they have in Texas. The Dasuki Gate, $2 billion. That will build at least 2 of this hospital. I mean, I'm just saying that if Nigeria really wants to make it happen, we can. But again, I don't make a lot of sense. These people prefer to say, a white man treated me. But what do I know? Having said that, this week I came across a video about one hospital in Ondo State where they're doing wonders. Ondo Medical Village. And I just wanted you guys to see a little bit of it.
Took me in, they treated me well without asking for anything from them. They made sure that I was stable before asking for money.
So, of course, Uganda had elections this week, but I'll be bringing you guys full updates next week because we don't know who's winning yet. The election was holding today as we were recording. But moving on to the Gambia, you know they're also preparing for their election in December of this year. Well, I don't know how this happened, but Yaya Jammeh had a fundraising this month and he did not invite me. I was like, how could I not be invited, Jammeh? With how I've been campaigning for you on my show left and right. By the way, why is Jammeh raising money? With all the money that this man has stolen from the people of Gambia, why should the people give their money to him for him to run again after 20 years of being in power? Does that make sense? Granted, some of the tables were empty from the pictures that I saw, but I also saw people on some of the tables, my Gambian people. The problem now is the opposition parties are all divided. And I'm like, why don't they unite and become one? Do a coalition, bring PPP and UDP together. I heard that these are the biggest parties. Merge together so you can have one strong opposition candidate to stand against Jammeh. That is what we had to do in Nigeria to kick out Goodluck Jonathan. So many parties came together to form APC. By the way, I heard that one of the opposition parties, PPP, will be having a gala in Maryland on February 27th. So if you're a Gambian and you don't want Jammeh to win, if you can make it there to show them some love. But I still think that the opposition members need to come together as one and face Yaya Jammeh squarely. But you guys know I don't know much. Good luck to my Gambian people in this upcoming election. I can't wait to see what will happen. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. And moving on to Cameroon, Lord have mercy, Lord. Did the president's daughter really post that video?
Premièrement, j'entre dans sa voiture, d'accord? Je lui dis que je veux partir de Irvine à Beverly Hills et ça coûte $400, ce que je fais tout le temps.
Now, for those of you that don't speak French, c'est fini. Don't worry, I can tell you what happened. Better learn your French too. That was 18-year-old first daughter of Cameroon, you know, the president's daughter who is currently studying at the University of California in Irvine. So she made that video you just saw to talk about how a limo driver was being racist towards her. According to her, she lives in Beverly Hills. In case you don't know Beverly Hills in California, it's one of the 6 most expensive places to live in LA. Some people say that it's the most expensive place in the whole world to get into the mansion market. Houses there sell for millions of dollars. The average price is like $2 million. If you want to rent apartments or rent a house, you can find $5,000 per month, even $19,000 per month. In short, it's not a cheap place to live. So in the video, she says that she could wait for her driver to come to pick her up, but it would take the driver about 2 hours to get to her. So she decided she wanted to do what she's always done, which is to take a taxi, in this case, a limo, which will cost her $400 one way. Her school is about an hour and 20 minutes from Beverly Hills, so she was complaining that the limo driver was racist because when he asked her for money, she said that she would pay, but the money is with her driver. So the limo driver got upset that if you have a driver, why am I taking you and you're not paying me? So he got upset, they exchanged words, and then she said he even had the audacity of driving past her stop before dropping her. According to her, when she got out of the limo, she forgot her bag in the limo and the driver threw it out. So she's complaining that the driver did this because he didn't think that black people could have their own drivers in Beverly Hills. So when she made the video, she was expecting Cameroonians to say, hey, yeah, poor child, how dare the limo driver treat a whole first daughter like this? Who is this limo driver? We will go and teach him a lesson. But for some reason, I don't know why, the only thing that got the attention of Cameroonians was that she pays $400 one way to get to school. I read somewhere that she goes to school like 4 days in a week. That would be $1,600 in a week. No, be so? Assuming that her driver brings her back. Because if she's taking this limo to and fro, that means that she will be spending $3,200 on limo every week. Wait a minute. I think I'm really, really hot. Oh my God. $3,200 on taxi to school. How much is that in a month? If she's using the limo one way in a month, that would be $6,400. oh my God, I'm really, really hot. And if she uses this limo to and fro, in a month, that is $12,800. I'll be right back. Whew, I need fresh air. Oh, my father and my God. The money that this girl spends on limo in a month will sponsor several Cameroonians through school. Why are all African leaders like this? I've seen some Cameroonians say if people have something against her father, they shouldn't use it against her. I'm like, look at these people. It's as if they don't know that it is their money that this family is spending. Even the Obama children, if I should hear that Obama's children are spending $400 on taxi to school in a day, Americans will start shouting. And if you must take limo, it has to be for an hour and 20 minutes trip, my dear. She deleted the video. She went on her Instagram and said the money is actually less than what some presidential families spend, and that she's aware that people do suffer in her country. The truth is, we can't avoid things like this so long as we have leaders who see official positions as entitlement, a way of enriching themselves instead of them working for the betterment of the people. All I know is Buhari's children and Osimba just children, they better not be spending $400 on limo service when they are going to school. That is when they will know that Nigerians are, I trust Nigerians. Buhari shaking. Anyway, you guys don't do much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Alright, y'all, it's been real. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.